As you can obviously see, the Ural never met terrain it didn't like. And it doesn't mind getting a little dirty. There can be no doubt that the Ural is a rugged machine, and the way it handles the back roads in Russia, it should have little difficulty with anything North America can dish out. It wasn't all business for the two American entrepreneurs during their Russian visits. Here they tag along for a road trip through Irbit to the outskirts of the town for a friendly gathering with their Russian counterparts. When Bob and Tom made the decision to approach the people at Ural Moto about importing the Ural to the U.S., they were curious as to why it hadn't been done yet. What they found out was that, yes, there were a lot of interested parties, but no one had ever come to meet them in person. It was always just letters and faxes, no hands to shake or backs to slap. Bob and Tom quickly found out that that's the way things are done in Russia. A home-style barbecue, a few jokes, and of course, a little vodka. Okay, a lot of vodka. Went a long way in putting the deal together. After just a few of these get-acquainted sessions, it was all downhill from there. All the necessary papers were signed. A deal had been struck. Seattle, Washington, the first stop for the Ural on its way to the United States. This is the Linwood Cycle Barn, the first motorcycle dealership in America to sign on as a Ural distributor. We stopped in to talk with the general manager, Dave Nelson, to get his impressions of the bike and to see what kind of response they've had so far.
I guess it was a phone call from Bob to Jim. They've known each other for a number of years, and actually Bob was in the motorcycle business some years ago. And Bob had been over to Russia and had seen him, and he wanted to buy one. And it was more of a question, well, what do you think? Could we sell them in America? And it was, I hadn't really thought much about it, but I think everybody has been kind of intrigued with the Russians. I mean, we don't know anything about them, so it's more of a intriguing thing than anything else. And it was, and Bob was excited. He thought, well, maybe we can make a couple of bucks too. Let's see if we can import these things. And he sent us a picture over, and we said, well, yeah, I think, and it's, with the way the motorcycle industry is going now, a lot of the people into the collectibles and into the stuff that's not real common, and I don't think this is a motorcycle for somebody that's already a first-time buyer. This is not their kind of motorcycle. This is going to be somebody that wants to go out on the weekends and have something a little different, something. Maybe they already have a big Harley or a big Honda or a big Kawasaki or Yamaha or something. And it's a guy that wants something different, something that's, people look and say, what in the world is that? One of those type of things. And I think that it's the Russian thing more than anything else. I think that's the thing that thrilled me about it, is that it's made in Russia, and what do we know about the Russians? Nothing. So that was the thing that thrilled us more than anything else, was something made in Russia, and we wanted to see it. We wanted to see what it, what the workmanship was and how did it run, and that type of thing.
Yeah, they're really neat bikes. I mean, they remind me of when I was used to growing up in England in the 50s. The family didn't have a car back then. And what we'd do is we'd go out on the motorbike and sidecar. My dad would be riding, of course, and my mother on the back, and my brother and I would be sitting in the sidecar here, and we'd go out on a Sunday day, and it'd be kind of just like what you do on like you do here over in the States, and go and pile the kids in the station wagon and take off for the day. Well, in England we did in the sidecar. And this is what's appealing to me, is to get one of these things and do just the same thing, it's nostalgia, of course, but it's got this nice 50s styling, and it'd be good fun doing that. And this is a pretty neat bike.
Regular workhorses, they just carry tons of stuff. You can fit a lot of stuff in it, and they'll just go and go and go. That's about it.
Would you buy one?
I think I'm going to be a part owner in one. He came back after that last SWAT meet, and he was just jumping. So it was just all sorts of excited. And then we came down here to see the red one also, to see just the difference and just how bright a red. It's supposed to be really pretty. And now it's sort of figure out what color he wants. And that's it.
Which color would you prefer?
I'd have to see the red one. This one's really nice in that being all black and everything. It's very classic and classy, and the simple elegance to it that way. And the red, though, would be a little more exciting on it, and possibly, with my concern, would be being seen on the highway and making sure you're a little more visible that way. But I've got black leathers, and so it'll go with this.
I took an elderly lady for a ride here, 2 weeks ago, from Hungary, and she was like 75, 80 years old, something like this. And her folks owned one when she was in her 20s or 30s